Hey, Shane,
Yes, Vince?
have you seen RRR?
No.
Well, you have now.
Holy shit.
You've seen the best movie, right?
Yeah.
What have I been saying on this podcast since we started?
It's the best movie. And thank you for bringing it to my life. I will forever be grateful. I will forever be in your debt for this. So thank you.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, it's a 3-hour movie and you spend more of it like this than you don't. Because it is... This movie goes harder than any movie I maybe have seen ever.
Yeah. Set it up real quick. What is RRR?
Okay, so RRR is a Tollywood movie
Yep.
that, through some miracle, kind of broke into mainstream success in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it is about these two... So it's a... I don't know if you exactly describe it. It's like kind of like a biopic, but it's like historical fiction.
It's a historical epic.
It's a historical epic, but fictitious and whatever. So it's about these two revolutionaries in India, way back when the British were colonizing,
Yeah.
and they were real people. They were both real people, but they never met in real life. So this is the fictional version of what if they met and were best friends.
Yeah.
And it is the best movie. Like, I said this in the Whatties, it's the best duo of the year.
Yeah.
Like, these two instantaneously, from the second they're on screen together, you're like, they're best friends and I want to be one of them.
Yeah,
Like,
holy shit. Yeah. I now fully understand why you didn't give best duo to the Bat and the Cat.
I know.
Look, Bat and the Cat, perfect. But God damn
But
it.
these are two of the most handsome human beings on the planet. And they sing and they dance and they kick ass, dude.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it's like a historical epic, action musical romantic comedy,
Bromance movie. Like, it's
bromance?
everything. If it's been in a movie, it's in there.
Yeah.
And it does all of them better than any movie. Routinely while watching it, everyone who's ever seen it goes, why don't they make American movies like this one?
Literally.
It's so much better and cooler than any blockbuster that comes out. Like, that's not a literal, like, Top Gun Maverick rules, Dune rules, some other
Other
thing.
movies rule.
The other movies are cool, but none are quite as cool as RRR.
Yeah. I knew very little going in. Like, I knew it was from India. I knew it was popular and everybody really loved it. And I had seen like literally 2 shots. I had seen 2 shots or not 2 shots. One small sequence and then a couple of shots from Natu Natu. And the rest of it I had seen in the like Netflix preview thing as you're like scrolling through. And it's the scene with the tiger at the beginning.
Yep.
And I was like, those are very different things.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, the way that this movie is capable of completely shifting its tone seamlessly, utterly seamlessly, every like 15 or 20 minutes.
Dude, there's 20-minute stretch of this movie that is just kind of a rom-com.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And it works completely.
Yeah.
The thing that I love about it is it's like subversive in the coolest way, right? Where they present you the 2 character introductions. One of them, and I'm just going to say it, spoilers up front. Go watch RRR, then watch it again, then watch it one time for each R, and then come back and
Also,
do this.
second thing, we're both stupid white Americans We're going to mispronounce things. And we also, like, I don't know about you, Spencer, but this is my first Hollywood movie. Probably, definitely my first Bollywood as well. This is my first entry into Indian cinema.
Well, and
so it's like, I don't understand. I may not understand all of any other of the cultural references or the cliches or tropes within the genre. So some of this may be like old hat.
It
for
similarly
Bollywood and
doesn't
fans.
help that we watched it because it's on Netflix. It's the only way to really watch it.
Yeah.
We watched it dubbed from its original language into Hindi.
Yeah.
So there's already going to be some jumbled up things in translation. So not everything we're going to know is perfect.
Right.
I want to see this movie desperately in a theater with the original language.
Yeah.
And
I would love to dive deeper into Bollywood and Tollywood because of this. I'm very excited to do so.
Yeah, but the character introductions is subversive in this way, right? Where they set up the character introductions for the two main characters are one guy fights 1,000 people by himself and wins. And the other is like, I think maybe the coolest character introduction I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where it starts like zooming in on him from across a lake and then it flips right side up because you've been looking at the reflection, and then he proceeds to pour blood on himself and then fight a tiger.
Yeah.
And win.
Yeah.
It's the best. After these two scenes, you're like, I want to see these motherfuckers fight so bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. And then when they meet, they do the fucking craziest shit you've ever seen them two people do and become best friends doing it.
Yeah.
And then for another hour and a half, you're like, I do not want to see these guys fight.
No.
They're best friends. I just want them to be best friends.
I just want these two men to hold each other and be friends.
I just want them to keep doing like workout exercises together. One where he
Jesus.
sits on his shoulder
Yeah.
and they just do the dips and ride motorcycles and horses along the countryside.
Yeah.
For eternity. That's
Yeah.
all I want. Is that too much to ask?
Apparently, because they didn't give it to you.
They didn't give it to me. Now, that being said, they did start riding horses and motorcycles on, just with a lot more blood.
Yeah, no kidding.
Guts everywhere. This is a movie where, like, a leopard is just a weapon that somebody uses. Like, re-deflects a leopard into somebody and it rips out the guy's throat.
The amount of animals that get thrown in this movie is the amount of animals and vehicles that get thrown by a human is like way higher than I think the like animals thrown per minute has to be higher than any other movie in cinematic history.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
It's like these are two like gods. Like
Yeah.
literally the whole thing is their free will versus destiny is like water versus fire.
Yeah.
The introductions of both of them. Like one, there's like a verbal introduction right before you meet Beam. Where the guy's like he's the shepherd of them, he's the lion, and he will go any distance and travel anywhere in order to retrieve their lost sheep. And then they show the shot where he's like pouring blood on himself and fighting a tiger.
Yeah.
It's like the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in terms of character, which is very important character introductions, right?
Yeah.
You have to show that these people are different. And that one they like tell you leading into the holy mission that he has, right?
Yeah.
And the other guy, they just show him fight 1,000 people and win, but in an unlikable way.
Yeah.
Like they set up Ram as like an unlikable character at first.
Dude, I was like, once we were like 45 minutes into this movie, I was like, they were friends at that point. I was like, how are we going to be able to like him at any, like, is he just going to be the villain the entire time? The like secret villain? Or are they going to try to make us like him? Because I was like, how are they going to do that? This dude, when he's not hanging out with Beam, is such a fascist hard ass.
Yep.
Like, how are they going to be able to make that turn? And then they do.
And then they reveal what's really going on.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, no, you both need to know you'd be even better friends.
If you would just be honest with each other, if you would just open up to your best friend and tell them your deepest, it's like,
and that's the crazy thing about this is we were talking about this just before we recorded. It's like, it has a really healthy way of showing male friendship for a long time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where they just have each other's back and they like to help each other no matter what. Like there's literally a scene where Beam walks in and Ram is like asleep at his desk and he turns a fan on so he won't be too warm.
Yeah.
Like it's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
It's like honestly, it's like you could boil down some of the like themes or morals down to like, open up about your problems to your friends. You know what I mean? Like, let other people help you with your issues. Because, like, that's the thing is, like, had they both just completely opened up to each other, they both could have, like, helped each other out. And it could have, and they ended up doing, it's God fucking damn it. This movie rules so hard.
It's so good, dude. Well, and then Patrick Willems, which you'll watch this video soon. He made this like 30-minute video just like talking about how great this movie is. Because by that point he had seen it like 3 times in theaters. I think he's seen it like 5
I'm
now. I'm
so jealous that
I know.
I'm jealous of any American person who has seen this in a theater because I am so stupid for not having seen it.
I hope when it wins the Oscar, when Naatu Naatu wins the Oscar, that they'll put it out in theaters in some way. Because like it would come out and make a bunch of money. It's only more popular now than it was in theaters. You know what I mean? Like I want that to happen so bad. But Patrick Willems, in his video, like he literally has a point when he goes, I want to make this clear. I don't like this movie because of how batshit crazy it is. I like it because it's just great.
Yeah, like
it's so important to differentiate that. Like there are movies I really enjoy because of the crazy spectacle, but less so because of the story. This is not one of them. The story and the emotion and the sincerity is so fundamentally rock solid that everything on top of it is just flavor to already a great thing.
Yeah, it is just sweetening the pot.
It really
is literally just like the whipped cream on top of the already amazing pancakes.
That's it. Like this, like there's genuinely points in this movie where like I get emotional and like so I've seen it twice now and I cried the second time. Like there was a scene. And we talked about this again in one of those little like thematic scenes, and something I didn't pick up on the first time is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Sita?
Yeah.
Where Beam is meeting her and he's trying to like protect his people from the police because they're looking for him, and Ram has been captured and all hope seems lost in this moment. And then she steps in. And she's like, no, there's smallpox. There's smallpox. Like, you can't, please help us. And then the police leave. And he's like, who has smallpox? Like Beam trying to be helpful. And she's like, oh no, I saw you needed help.
Yeah.
Right. And she gets hurt. Like the police officer kicks her for it. Like she puts herself on the line. And earlier in the movie, there's a scene where Ram, when they're saying goodbye, he's like, look, my courage drives me, but your courage is why I'll succeed.
Yeah.
And then her courage sets Beam on the path to free him and to succeed for everyone. And you're like, oh man, this is the goodest movie, man. Like
everything has a
connects.
Point. Everything connects.
And talk about cinematography that means something, right? Like I remember I was watching it, I was waiting for the shot because it's one of the hardest shots in all of cinema. But like when the tire gets kicked and rolls through the oil and then lights on fire, and as it's rolling, you see Ram walking in the center of it and it's framed perfectly. It's like, is it just the coolest shot you've ever seen? Because both you and Meg went, ooh. Like, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, and it's thematic too. Like, it means something. He symbolizes fire and rage, and he's so consumed by it, he can't see past that. Because that's the other thing I love about this movie is they learn from one another.
Right.
They're both inspired by one another. And that's why they make the decisions they make. It's not only their friendship. It's the fact that their friendship is like this mutually beneficial and they grow together from it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
God damn it. I love this movie so much.
Dude, like the movie's ability to like just like make everything meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you said, like everything kind of connects to everything else, and like and the like trick that this movie pulls off of like doing it's like some of it's kind of batshit crazy, but it's like it never pushed me out. Like it was all still like, obviously like he's throwing a fucking tiger. Like it's not real, but like I'm just fully on board. And like every time it did those like like super over the top crate, you know, like like the tire. It's like, I just loved it. I just loved that they were willing to like go for it and not be too afraid to be like pearl clutch it. And I have to imagine
that's a Bollywood, Tollywood. It's an Indian blockbuster cinema.
Just
thing.
about to say that. I was like, I feel like that's very much a part of that. Again, like I'm talking on my ass a little bit, but I do feel like that's much more a part of that cinematic history in a way that it isn't here, where it's like so much of a lot of the more popular films are like kind of afraid to be crazy.
You know, I think that of a lot of other countries' media. Anime is a big one.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
where like anime, like I talked to my cousin about this. He lived in Japan for a few years. He speaks Japanese. He is super interested in the culture, so he likes learning about it. So I'll talk to him about media from Japan.
Yeah.
And be like, well, what is this about? And he'll be able to like talk about it. It's interesting. But like, I talk to him sometimes about it where it's like why anime for a lot of Americans is like they can't jump on board. And it's like, they're like, it's ridiculous. And I was like, any more ridiculous than a talking raccoon and tree from Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, what do you
Right.
mean, right? But the difference is these movies send it. They don't have to like wink and nod and explain.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, I fought 1,000 people. What of it? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, why are you freaking out? Oh, yeah, I'm stronger than a tiger and I'll pull the cables together
Yeah.
and win. It's like, why are you freaking out about that? It's like they just go for it. They don't feel the need to explain. Like Rom, literally, there's I don't know the exact history of this, so please forgive any of that. But like his outfit at the end with like the bow and arrow and the clothes and the hair is modeled after the god Ram from certain religions in India's scripture.
Yeah.
He literally becomes that. You know what I mean? These are mythological figures we're looking at.
Right.
They're gods.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, the scene when they fucking save the kid and without a word they come up with the most insane fucking plan you've ever seen. You're like, okay, this is in the fact we talk about everything meaning something. When he grabs that flag, you laugh. You're like, oh my god, this is the most like fuck yeah kind of thing. It's like somebody running the American flag in an American movie. It's what you think it's gonna be, and it is that. Like the symbolism and
Right.
the imagery is that. But then it serves a purpose. Like
Right.
he gets it wet and tosses it over to Beam, and Beam catches it and wraps himself in it to survive the fire. And you're like,
Right.
they did all that just by looking at each other. That's the power of friendship.
Right.
I love it so much, dude.
Yeah. No, I was afraid that some of the like Bollywood, one thing I know about Bollywood and Hollywood is just like how much music and dance is a part of it. So I wasn't like super sure how I was, look, I love a good musical.
Yeah.
But it's like I wasn't sure how much that would affect my feelings on, especially because like I know specifically with Bollywood and Hollywood, like how like the end will just be a giant dance number.
Yeah.
And that's basically how the movie ends. And so I didn't know how I was going to feel about that. You know what I mean? But god damn it, by the end of the movie, I was just like, fuck yeah!
Literally,
Like,
all three of us were just like
I
dancing
was
along with it.
so into it. I was like, that every fucking movie should end with a like fourth wall breaking dance number at the end of the movie, because literally like the director of the movie
is just part of it.
It's part of it. It is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so much fun and so cool.
So I said this to you, I think in the Whaties I said this, or just in life I've said this a bunch. And I want to ask like your perception of this, what my statement before you saw it and now after. Where it's like before we watched it and we were talking about whether or not RRR would be nominated for a bunch of Oscars.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, that movie's too cool to be nominated for Oscars.
Yeah.
Before you saw the movie, what was your perception of like what that would be, do you think? Because I know there's like some movies we talk about that, like the Batman, right? The Batman's just like a really, really cool genre movie. So there's no way it's getting nominated for Oscars. Was it something equating to that? Or were you thinking something more along the lines of what the movie is?
Yeah, like I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like I didn't know what that, because like again, like I knew very little about the movie other than the fact that like I knew it had some history, like I knew it was something about like Indian history, and I knew tigers and dance numbers. That was basically all I knew. So it was like I didn't even really like, I didn't know it was like a historical epic about like actual people, or I didn't know any of that. So it's like you saying that, I was just like, okay. Like, but like now, yeah, it's way too fucking cool to get nominated for anything other than like the original song, because that one rises so far above like everything else.
Yeah.
Like, that it's like, like if you're going to nominate it for anything, at least nominate it for that. You know what I mean? Because like, that being said, like I fully believe this movie should have been nominated for Best Picture.
I think it should have been nominated for picture, cinematography,
for sure.
Like
too.
this has some of the hardest imagery ever depicted in cinema.
Yeah.
Like I get the CGI is a little wonky, but you know what the CGI never did? Took me out of it. Not
Yeah.
one time.
No.
God damn, this movie's
And like
pretty.
It's only it's only a little wonky sometimes.
Yeah,
like
no,
I feel
yeah.
like most of the time it's like good.
It's just really heightened imagery.
Yeah.
Like again, it takes some of that, like something that's really fun when you watch like a good anime is this really like heightened imagery where it's not literal.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see that as often in American cinema, where it's like, if it is, it's a dream sequence. Whereas like imagery in, I'll think like just an example because I'm a nerd, Naruto.
Yeah.
You know, there's scenes when Naruto's monologuing, where he's talking about how he feels connected to somebody, but they'll instead of just flashing back to images of his life, they'll flash to like these crazy fucking images of like him and the person standing off with one another, surrounded by something, and like you see the difference, and like it's all this like metaphorical imagery. It's like this movie just does that.
Yeah, that definitely goes back to kind of what I was saying about like, like making the visuals and like raising that kind of like stakes and elevating like what is emotionally resonant to like actually seeing it on screen.
Yeah,
you
no,
know what I
like
mean?
there's
Like,
the literal shot where he's holding. They've just fought and he's just gotten beamed to surrender because they're threatening the little girl.
Yeah,
and there's blood coming down. The blood goes into his eye and comes out with the tear.
Yeah,
right. And you're like,
right.
This is the hardest. Okay, there's that, and then this is another. This isn't like an imagery thing. I just remembering talking about tears. There's in the torture scene when he's whipping Beam, which we're gonna talk about this scene.
Yeah.
When he's whipping him, there's a part where he like rips the whip with like nails off, and blood splatters on his face, and it cuts to a close up, and you can just barely see a tear come down, and he wipes the blood away to hide the fact that he's crying doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't notice that the first time. It's like a tiny little thing, but you see him like getting emotional. He's like,
it's funny you didn't notice the first time.
No, I didn't.
I noticed it on this.
It's
watch.
like I think I was too like because I was alone. I was like, oh, I have no one to comfort me.
Dude, that lady, Jesus Christ. Okay, all right.
I love how she went out.
Shout out to this movie because the British are bastards. Shout out to my Brits. Y'all are all bastards.
Wait,
in this movie,
British people are real?
Yeah, they're not just scary stories. They are real. Oh God! I know. I'm so sorry I had to be the bearer of bad news.
Okay.
This movie, there is literally one kind, like pretty nice white lady, and every other British person in this movie is comically evil in the best, most fun way possible. Like they are all horrifyingly bad.
Yeah. And they all go out in just the fucking most righteous ass kicking you have ever seen.
Yeah, right. I really like, again, I don't know if this is a hallmark of the cinematic history within India or if it would just happen to be this way in this movie. Like, I do kind of love that, like, all of the main characters and side characters survive, and like it just ends super happy, like we won, like, and it ends like super like patriotic and stuff. Like, good shit.
Well, I mean, it
dude.
literally ends when they shoot him, when they finally off the main bad guy, and it's super like thematic again what they're doing, right? Like,
yes, holy shit,
it's like callbacks and setup and payoff, and it's
so
layered
many,
and layered
so
with
much,
how good it is. But when he shoots him, it just blasts across the flag.
Yeah,
it's like
may the sun never set on the British Empire.
It's just gore on it, and Meg literally went,
dude, it is so, like literally there is like not a better word than hard to describe. Man, there's so much, like, that shot
hard,
was so
but with 3
hard.
R's.
Yes, that shit was so hard. Like, my review for this movie was like, please go watch it. Just do yourself a favor, go watch it. Tell everybody you know.
I need you to read the other one that you read me from that person you follow on Letterboxd.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll read that in a bit. That's such a good review.
But the second half of mine was there are 2 parts to my life. One before I watched RRR, and now the better part.
Yeah.
And like, I fully believe that. Like, there are 2 halves of my life, and now I'm living the good part because I've seen RRR.
When I watched it, my review was I'm so sorry for the person I'm going to be until I get at least everyone I know to watch this movie. If you go to my Letterboxd,
I need to pin
I was
a
gonna
review.
Say,
because I don't have a pinned review.
It's the pinned review on my Letterboxd, and it will remain there until I get everyone to watch RRR.
This is from I don't know his last name. Chris, he's host of Streaming Things podcast and at Movies Therapy on TikTok. Shout out to you. I really like your TikTok. This is his review of RRR, and it is perfect. This is what Scorsese was talking about when he said cinema. This is what Nicole Kidman meant by dazzling images on a silver screen. I was just reborn. RRR makes the MCU cower in the corner and know its place. This film taught Vin Diesel the true meaning of family. I'm stunned. Amen. That is so freaking true. Like,
it's
so
the only
true.
way to describe what this is. It's
Right.
like so fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad, because I was worried y'all wouldn't like it. Because like
I have eyes and a brain. That's all it takes to be able to
yeah,
enjoy this
but
movie.
it's like
I
one of
think.
those movies, right? That there was somebody on Twitter, and they deleted the tweet because they got made fun of so bad. But they're like, I turned off this movie 15 minutes in because like one guy fought an army alone and won. It's like maybe it gets good after that, but I've never seen Twitter unite in the way that they did to defend this movie.
Literally.
And be like, does anyone have fun on here anymore? Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Literally.
Dude, when that scene happened, my only thought was, oh my God, awesome.
Right.
It's like, I hate that you're doing this for the British, but fuck if it ain't cool.
If it isn't fucking badass. Yeah, it is now my holy mission to spread this movie to everyone I've ever met. And so
Spread, but with 3 R's.
so in so doing, I was going around to my coworkers today and telling them all to watch it. And one of my coworkers, I told her, I was like, hey, have you heard of RR? She immediately rolled her eyes and was like, yes, I've heard of RR. And I was like, whoa, okay, I don't like this energy. Like, what's your deal? But she's like, yeah, my mom watched the first 50. She's like, I've heard so much about it. My mom, they're Pakistani, so like. So she had seen a lot of movies from that area, and so she tried to watch it. Her mom did, and then she was like, she got like 15 minutes in and didn't like it because she was like, it's just like the epitome of Southeast Asian male masculinity. She was like, I just didn't want to watch 3 hours of that, and it was like, okay, is a lot of the movie that? Yeah, kinda, but the rest of like everything in between all of that stuff is actually like sweet and good,
sincere and beautiful,
sincere,
and
like using that like male masculinity for the betterment of the country. Like, I don't know, man. Like I was like, look, you got to give it a chance. You have to like meet it on its terms and give it and that being said, like, she's also been watching these kinds of movies her entire life. So it's like, I'm sure she's a little bit more like used to the tropes and the cliches more than like I would be. So like maybe she saw that and it was instantly like, it's going to be 3 hours of nothing but this. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it is not.
And it is not just that. Like, it is so much more. And it is so damn good.
Damn, with 3 R's. No. So let's talk about this real quick. This movie is a musical. Yeah. That's the part that trips people up. I think they're like, I'm sorry, you said there was not 1 but 2 tiger fights. How is this a musical?
Yeah.
It is. And it's a damn good one.
So
we're going to touch just because we have to.
Yeah.
Not to.
Jesus H. Christ.
How many times have you listened to it, do you think, since watching it last night?
Since watching it, we listened to it like literally, the movie ended, credits started rolling. I immediately rewound all the way back to Natu just to rewatch it again. And then after we done rewatched that, and we rewatched the very end dance number at the very end of the movie too. We rewatched that one again. After the movie, like after we turned off the movie, we were getting up to get ready and go to bed and stuff. We turned it on again and we're listening to it like on Megan's phone. And then today I watched the video like 2 times and I've listened to it like 2 or 3 times. I cannot stop listening to it. I can't stop watching that scene. It is so much fun. It is so good and it is so hard. Like, it goes so hard, dude. That shit is a fucking jam.
Like, potentially best dance number ever put to film.
There's definitely some hot competition, but like not far. Like, that is in the conversation for sure.
All I'm saying is, in a movie with 1 guy versus 1,000, multiple tiger fights, grenade tipped arrows, using a motorcycle as a bat.
Yeah. literally throwing a tiger.
Swinging off a bridge, grabbing a kid, tossing the kid, catching the flag, going through the fire, coming back, catching, dropping into the water, and then bam in the water. The dance number might be the coolest thing in the whole fucking movie.
Might be the best part of the movie. Like, might be the best part of the movie.
It's so good, dude.
It is incredible. Yeah, like, and like legitimately, like, okay, not to, phenomenal. But the other song,
the other like in the movie, not credits. The other like big like diegetic song.
Is this when he's singing while he's getting tortured, and like the crazy part is it's diegetic. Like, after it happened, Ram is talking about how like his song changed the hearts of the people, and it was like, wait, he was actually singing. That wasn't just musical, I'm letting out my emotions through song. Like, no, that motherfucker was singing while being tortured. But
it's so like,
and it's
poignant,
beautiful.
and like seriously, he looks down at the earth, then the wind hits him, and then the leaf hits him, and then he starts singing. That's what the song is about. It's like this reminder, and it's the song he sang to her earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
And it ignites a riot in the crowd when he finally passes out because he can't take anymore, but he never kneels. You know what I mean? Like, best fucking movie, dude. Like,
it is insane. Like, I mean, like, I think so much needs to be said about the lead performances in this movie too.
Absolutely.
I don't honestly, I don't even want to attempt to try to pronounce their actual names, but the actors who play Bean and Ram are like phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're like phenomenal.
They're triple threats in the like very definition of that.
Truly, like, literally, the movie ended, and that was like literally the first thing I said was like, they are the definition of triple threats.
Yeah.
Because like, they're phenomenal actors. They're incredible dancers. And like, if that's like, I don't know anything about how the production of this movie works. So for all I know, they could have like different singers doing the singing. I don't know if that,
but you don't know is kind
but
of
I also
point,
don't know.
You know what I mean?
So it's like, if they're singing, they're also phenomenal singers.
Yeah.
Like true triple threats. And so it's just like, they are just like, both of them are phenomenal.
With 3 R's.
Yeah,
done making that joke. Sorry.
Like, they give everything for this movie. It literally was 3 years of filming, 3 years of filming with an 8-month break for COVID, during COVID, and during that 8-month break, they had to stay in the phenomenal shape that they are in.
Yeah, just real quick, Greek god shit. You've seen those statues?
Yeah,
that's what they look like.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of shirtless scenes, guys.
Boys and girls, that
all
was for
I'm
you.
Saying.
Yeah, like, it is. They are, yeah. Like, on top of being wonderful performance, they're also two of the most handsome men on the planet. Like, it is just it's just I can't gush enough for this movie.
Like, do you have some favorite moments? Some like ones that like jaw drop moments that, because it can be a specific. I know we taught you the whole last fight. You're like, oh shit! It's like the part when he shoots the arrow and it goes through the tree and stops right by his eye, and then the guy's like trying to reload and he walks up and kicks the arrow through the tree into his ear, and then that's just how he kills him.
Yeah, I mean, like, that. Not to, like, obviously. I mean, like, both of the character introductions, obviously.
Well, like, what about when he rips the fucking cage out of the ground, and then you're like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I'm a little emotional because it's beautiful, and then he picks him up and puts him on his shoulders, and then it's like the best action scene you've seen in any movie.
Yeah.
Like, here's a controversial, maybe not a controversial statement. This might be the best action movie ever made.
Yeah.
There's an argument that it is the greatest action film of all time.
Yeah. I mean, it is like, all of the action is insanely over the top, but in the most like fun, badass way
and
possible.
Character driven
and super
and
character
story driven.
Yeah.
Like, depending on where we are in the stories, depending on the ferocity with which they fight, or like we're talking about when they finally do fight, when these two men finally fight, it's like Beam won't do it. He won't fight him until he loses the key because of him, and then he starts unloading, right?
Yeah.
And you have Rom who's like unloading on him hit after hit, and when Beam finally hits one, Rom just flies back.
Yeah.
Because it's like they've set up, this is how they do it. It's like every piece of choreography is designed from a character standpoint.
Yeah.
It's... look, we talked about like Everything Everywhere All at Once. We talked about best action sequences of the year and the whaties. And I kind of put out, it's like, look, not every fight scene in Everything Everywhere All at Once is the fanny pack fight.
This is true.
every fight scene in RRR is of caliber that is unreal and unheard of. Like, it's so fucking good.
Like, I mean, like, legit, like I said, this movie took 3 years, and I'm not surprised.
No.
Like, that movie, like...
It's the most movie.
It is the most movie. Like, everything, like, it is just so dense with emotion and, like, action and, like... heart, like there is just so dense and amazing cinematography,
and it never drags, it never rushes, like it's perfectly paced.
Dude, I said this after the movie. It's like, okay, look, I have like ADHD. If I'm sitting at home, the likelihood that I pull out my phone just to check a notification or just to like distract myself for like 15 seconds, I might do it once or twice during a movie.
Yeah,
like usually, especially if like specifically during like a 1.5 to 2.5 hour movie, I might pull out my phone a couple times. For a 3-hour movie, that's probably going to go up even slightly higher. I did not pull my phone out a single time. I did not touch my phone the entire time we were watching that freaking movie because it's just wall to wall. Like you said, like perfectly paced. I never lost interest. I like the stakes are always right up to the surface without being like overly tense.
It's not subtle, but it's definitely like got its subtleties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I think that's a great way of describing it.
It's you always know what this movie is about.
Yeah.
But the way they choose to depict it is sometimes more subtle, like surprisingly subtle for what the imagery would tell you that it is.
It's so operatic.
Yes.
Like it's not. It's
like mythology. It's like that's what it is.
It's not going for subtlety. It doesn't need subtlety. Like nothing about the British invasion was subtle. So it's like, fuck it. Like let's make it huge and like bring the emotions all the way up to the surface, like almost the entire time. Like it fucking shreds, man.
Dude,
like,
it's when he's like, but how did you know? How did you find out? Well, how did you find out the truth? And he just drops his hand in the necklace.
Yeah.
And it's like that is played as the biggest moment, most earth-shattering moment in any other movie, and that's just like another moment.
Yeah.
In this one, like it's so good.
I don't know why I just thought of this, but I love it so much. So Rom gets bitten by the snake. Bean opens up finally. Beam. Sorry, did I say Bean? Beam finally opens up about like what his true purpose is, who he actually is. Rom is still like coming out of the sickness or the poisoning, and so he can't react yet. And finally, so after Beam leaves to go like break into the governor's mansion or whatever the hell, Rom gets up and he's just like screaming and he's like punching holes in a cement wall. And he's just like, ah!
And that's where you get your first little flashes of why he's doing this. Like you just get quick images you don't quite understand yet,
right. But just like that, like that is the emotions that this movie is like playing with,
and you
like
feel it, man.
But you feel it so.
You're
much.
Like, no, he's gonna go fight his friend.
Like literally, god dang it, this movie's so fucking cool,
fucking awesome.
Like there's like such a fine line that I think this movie's playing with, or it's like that section in a different movie would only be funny.
Yeah.
Like the way that this movie is, like by that point, you're like, I would be doing the same thing with the same veracity and strength.
Well,
like I completely understand where that character's at and why he's doing that. And like the fact that this movie is able to get me to buy in on this swole, huge dude screaming at the top of his lungs and punching holes in walls.
Like the other time he's in that room is after he doesn't get the promotion earlier in the movie, and he's punching the punching bag and he punches it so hard it blows a hole straight through it, and it's like it's just cool. It's not even like, oh my god, really? Like it's just awesome. Like
this movie, it's a good one, guys. I don't
I don't know if you can tell based on how we've been talking about it.
I want to be brave. I want to speak my truth. This movie, pretty good actually. Like
that's a go-to bit for you.
It's a good bit, damn it.
It's like
don't point out my go-to bits. I'm just kidding.
It is the best movie, I think.
Yeah.
Like, look, 2022 is a great year for movies.
Yeah.
Holy shit. In a year with like The Batman and Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun Maverick, The Banshees of Inisherin, like all of the Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, all of these great fucking movies. I never could have pegged RRR coming out of Tollywood, which I've never seen a Tollywood movie.
Yeah.
Showing up and being like, okay, maybe I don't want to watch anything but Indian cinema from now on. I think maybe like.
Right. So I mentioned my Pakistani friend, my coworker. I told her about the movie. She got really excited, and then she was like, "Hey, so like, I don't remember how we got out, but she gave me other recommendations of other famous Bollywood movies. So thank you for that. Like, I love that. I'm super excited to like dive in a little bit to like get to get to know this world, because like I am such a stupid, dumb American that watches mostly just almost entirely just American or like British or just like English speaking movies. So I'm like glad that this like is opening my eyes, and I know that this movie's doing that for a lot of other people too. Yeah, which is like so huge and so cool that this movie is like as like earth-shatteringly good.
I mean, it's like anime blowing up in the US because of Dragon Ball Z. Right. You know what I mean? Like it takes one to find like some level of mainstream success to get people to like stop being dumb and worried about 1-inch subtitles at the bottom of your screen. It's like, dude, get past it. 10 minutes into the movie, you're not going to give a shit that you have to read because you're going to be like, oh God, oh no, awesome, no! Like, it's,
right.
It's the best.
Yeah, I hope this opens up more people's eyes to more cinema throughout the world, including my own. So I'm excited to delve a little deeper into Bollywood and Hollywood.
RRR just makes me happy.
I want to rewatch it like tonight. I just only want to watch this freaking movie.
Seriously, I was at work and I just had my headphone in and I just listened to the thing on repeat.
Yeah.
Sometimes the whole album, because it's like short.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant. Like, I love this movie, dude.
It's so good.
I've only gotten you and then Ethan to watch. You and Meg and then Ethan. Because no one will take my recommendation on it. Everyone's like, what do you mean it's a 3-hour action comedy musical romance?
In a different language. I literally think for so many people that is that 1-inch barrier is enough for many people.
But this one is the one, guys.
Dude,
like,
I know.
If you watch any foreign film I've ever recommended, watch RRR.
It's like literally like the 1-2 punch of like Parasite being like another one is like, this movie is like stupid how good this movie is. It's just too good
not to watch it regardless of your hangups.
Like RRR is the Parasite of like this year.
Yeah.
Of like, you are stupid if you don't watch it. Like, it's not that hard. No. Like, it's not that hard to be able to read and then like and understand what's going on. Like, yeah, and this movie deserves it, and we as a society need it.
We need RRR, yo. Like, we just need creativity like this. Yeah. Like, we need the freaking studio system to go, well, I can't even say the studio system. It's like Americans don't support this. You know what I mean? Like, they want the safe bet. They want the, whatever. Like, every time you look at a genre, a superhero genre, every time a banger comes out, it usually doesn't do as well as a lot of the more like safe bet ones. And it's like, guys, it's already a thing you like. It's just cool and different. Yeah. Like, go with it. We've seen that right now, right, with James Gunn taking over for rebooting the DC universe. It's like, I don't know, if somebody's going to do something cool and weird with superhero content right now, it's James Gunn.
Yeah.
But everyone is turning on him because they're like, wow, Henry Cavill is Superman and Black Adam. And it's like, guys, it wasn't working. We have to try something new. And it's like, I desperately want them just to take the RRR approach and just go as batshit crazy as you possibly. Give me fucking Gorilla Grodd fighting Bizarro. I don't care.
We're talking about comic books and superheroes. It doesn't like, look, everything doesn't have to be Spider-Man where he's a real guy and he's got a chip on his shoulder, and everything doesn't have to be that.
No.
Some of it can be wild and bonkers.
Because you know what? Audiences will watch the fucking crazy ass shit that happened in RRR and still talk about the fact that it's an emotional movie.
Yeah.
It's like, that is not the barrier. You just have to not wink at the audience every 5 minutes that something crazy is happening.
Yeah.
Like, this movie never winks.
It
never even pretends to be like, we know this is ridiculous. It's just like, this is how it is. You deal with it or leave. Like, I love that, man.
Yeah.
I want that in American cinema.
Yeah. I mean, like, legitimately, I think the closest thing that we have to it is Fast and Furious in a lot of ways.
And even then, Fast and Furious has started winking a little bit.
Oh, it really, really has.
And you're like,
in our episode 3, discussing it, that
yeah,
track.
but it's specifically the Hobbs and Shaw one that does. Ooh. And then as soon as The Rock is out, the jokes land slightly better in terms of like Roman being Roman. You know, at least it's a character that makes sense to do this. Like,
yeah.
But still, stop winking.
Yeah.
I just want to go on a ride with the boys. Yeah. Like, I don't need I can't stand it. I'm done with the whole, like, it's cool, but, you know, like, we're cooler. It's like, no, dude, it's just...
It's like...
Be cool.
It's like we're still in this, like, early 2000s. We can't have the X-Men wear spandex. Yeah. Jesus Christ, we can't. And it's like... I feel like a lot of American cinema thinks like, oh no, we're allowed to make things weird now. It's like, no, you're not.
It's like not in the same way.
You are just the same. Only like now you've got character with weirder names. They're all basically the same, with a few exceptions. Like the Suicide Squad, and movies, and a couple, and honestly, like everything James Gunn has been doing, and like maybe a couple of exceptions outside of that, like. So much of like tentpole blockbuster cinema is still incredibly safe and incredibly like, oh man, make it fucking weird.
Look, I know Ant-Man Quantumanium is going to have MODOK in it, and I know they're going to make a bunch of jokes about MODOK just being ahead. All I'm saying is I just want MODOK to show up and them just to be like, all right, I've seen weirder shit, let's go, and not talk about it.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Let it happen.
And that's never going to happen.
No, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. And again, it's like, that's why the new DC thing is exciting to me is like, I don't know. We might get a Superman movie where it's not him angry all the time. It's like he's just hopeful and sincere. That would be something. We're going to get a Lobo movie, which
I would be incredibly interested to see how James Gunn handles a Superman story.
He is writing one.
Yeah, I know. Like I am incredibly interested. So we're kind of not even talking about RRR.
No, they're just talking about what I want. Yeah,
because we talked about having this discussion about kind of the DC.
Yeah,
We could start. No,
look, like just the RRR thing is like I want this to be the tentpole for it. It's like I don't necessarily need it to go this hard because that's asking a lot of any movie to go as hard as this one.
Yeah, but it's clear there's also an audience for it.
No, absolutely.
RRR is the second highest grossing Indian film ever. And it like did well in America.
Yeah.
Like, and people are constantly talking about it.
And that's without a wide release.
And that's without a wide release. So it's like, there's clearly an appetite, an audience for it. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, look, like I'm not saying that all superhero movies, all blockbusters have to be like, just like you said, like not everything has to be this crazy. We could still have the straight man movies. Like we can still have that. That's fine. But like, man, like, everybody has playing it so safe.
One of the things I enjoyed about Black Adam is The Rock didn't wink as much as he normally does. He was a bit more contained into a character.
Yeah. It's
like there are characters that should wink at the audience. You know what I mean? Like Shazam is that character. Shazam is a kid who's going to do kid humor.
Yeah.
That's big a la Superman. Like that's what Shazam is. But like a Superman movie needs to there is a specific, it's from All-Star Superman, which is a lot of people would consider maybe the greatest Superman story ever told.
Yeah.
But there's one page where it is a girl on a ledge and she drops her phone off and she's going to kill herself. And then all of a sudden Superman is behind her. And he just says these few simple lines to her. And then the last panel on the page is just him hugging her. And the metaphor of Superman is that he can hear everything on the planet going on, every horrible thing on the planet, but he still can't be in multiple places at once. And he chose to be here.
Yeah.
In this moment with this girl. It's like, I want something with that. And it's not like winking and nodding.
No.
It's literally just this. Literally, I have the thing saved on my phone. It's one of my favorite comic pages ever.
Yeah.
I want it framed. Like, I think it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, I want a Superman movie that is that blisteringly sincere.
Yeah.
Because that's what RRR is. It is a blisteringly sincere movie.
Yeah.
And it is all the better for it. I want fucking just American movies to be that.
Yeah.
If it calls for it, which like a character like Superman does, a character like Spider-Man does, full fucking send it. I don't need the dark tale of how this man. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Make it mythological. Like, come on.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's
some operatic, like, I mean, that's what made like Star Wars cool, was that it's like big and sweeping and like operatic, and like it isn't like trying to be like cool the entire time. Like, it's just good and sincere, and like, man, I agree. Sincerity needs to come back. I miss it.
I miss it dearly. What happened to us?
I don't know. Any other thoughts on RRR before we move on?
I mean, a million, but I think we've
Right.
kind of covered it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Any other thoughts on the new DC conversation? Anything you want to talk about?
I have a lot. Hire me. Even
James.
if it's
James,
just as a PA.
We talked about this last week, James. We haven't gotten. Come on, James, booby. Hey, we've been reaching out. All right, I'll do this.
No,
again.
but like seriously, I'm. This is the first time we've really seen a reboot of one of these cinematic universes.
Yeah.
And like DC has the best comic book characters ever for that type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the news that he is writing the Superman movie is super strange to me because he is never the guy I would have thought to write it. But like in a lot of ways, that really excites me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's fun to see a guy who so clearly is knowledgeable on comic books and knowledgeable on and loves it dearly and knowledgeable about filmmaking too come in and get to run one of these shows.
Yeah.
Because like Kevin Feige so clearly is, but the Kevin Feige model is a little bit fucked, where they bring in these filmmakers that haven't really made big movies so they can kind of just control it.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
And that's not a Kevin Feige original. Like, that's been going on for a while.
But that's their entire business
Right.
model, is that. Like, literally not one of their directors before directing a Marvel movie had done a budget of above like 75 million, I think. Like,
I mean, it's like I think the goal is like get somebody who's clearly good with actors, and
we'll take care of everything else.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. And like, the news coming out of DC is in the next couple of days from when we record this, we should be getting a bit of an announcement.
Yeah.
At least 4 movies for the initial part of the slate. We know a Superman movie's coming. We know the movies still on the docket from the previous team are like Shazam 2, whether or not that'll be rebooted. Blue Beetle, The Flash, which how is that one still kicking? I don't know.
Of all the movie,
I know.
they've just
You
spent
cancel Batgirl, but you don't. Whatever. That's
they spent too much on the Flash.
They did.
can't
No, they literally
lose-
did. It would bankrupt them if they scrapped it at this point. It would cost too much money, even with the tax write-off thing, to do it. So they can't. But there's rumors Jason Momoa is out as Aquaman, but in as Lobo. Like,
Wild.
super weird stuff. There's rumors that not even rumors. James Gunn said this. They met with Ben Affleck about potentially directing one of these movies. And this is a guy who was Batman and then was going to write and direct and didn't want to do that, and then was out as Batman, then was back in as Batman, then everyone was like, is he going to do it? And then he's like, no, he's not going to do it, but possibly he'll do it now.
But maybe he'll do it now.
Apparently they talked to him and he wants to direct something. Apparently Henry Cavill's still on the table for being in a role. Like, I'm just excited about the potential of it. And I love DC dearly, and I love James Gunn. He's a big, James Gunn is a massive inspiration for me as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So, like, I would love dearly to see him succeed, and I want it to happen.
Yeah.
And everyone who's rooting against him can get fucked a little bit. It's like, let him have his start before we just write him off.
Just let's see where it goes, man. Like,
He's an exciting filmmaker
Yeah.
who cares about the people he works with, and I guarantee everyone he's going to hire is going to be somebody he respects and somebody he believes in, working on a thing he cares about dearly, so he's going to let them do their thing if it's the right move. So it's like, let's let him do it, man. I'm super into it.
let him cook.
Let him cook. Anyway, that's my thoughts on DC. I could go into specific, like, what I want to see and who I want to see. A Green Arrow movie directed by me would be awesome. A Batman movie directed by me would be awesome. I have a Superman idea, but James is already doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I have like hope for that, what that's going to be. And I don't think RRR is a bad place to look, to be like, this is some of the things we should take.
Yeah. This is the level that we can play with.
Anyway,
These are ideas. This is energy and emotions we can play with.
To spin that just into my lesson
Yeah.
about this movie, right, is like full send when you need to full send.
Yeah.
And do not fucking wink if that's what you have to do.
Right.
Like if you have to just do the craziest, most batshit crazy thing of all time, we will go with it. I promise.
Yeah.
Audiences will dig it if you just let it be. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And if you don't half-ass it.
Yeah.
Like,
If it's rooted in emotion and if it's rooted in something real, it doesn't matter how crazy the flavor is.
Yeah.
We'll still taste the thing we need
right.
to make it work. And that's my lesson. Top to bottom is just like start with truth and then dress it up however you want, but start with truth.
Yeah. I think another thing that I love about this movie is like I think this movie in so many ways is like the epitome of show don't tell.
Yeah.
Of like so many of the big emotional moments are is eye contact, or like literally you mentioned that, like where he drops the necklace and it's like he doesn't say that he saw Sita, he just shows the necklace and then he like Ram like immediately starts like it's like you know what I mean, like you get that like it is you can it is the epitome of show don't tell. Like when the emotions are this high, you can bring the visuals up to that same height and show all of these emotions through these insane visuals. I mean, even only make the movie better and cooler.
Even not insane visuals, right? Where he's like, we've only been feeding him once a week. By now, he'd be gnawing on his own chains. They walk around the corner and he's doing pull-ups. And the reason he's doing pull-ups, you reveal, is so he can see his mission in the distance. So he can remember always what it is. Yeah. And it's like, this movie might just be the coolest thing ever depicted. Like,
so show don't tell, and if you're gonna show, make sure it's built with emotion.
Yes,
you know,
good lesson.
Yeah,
fucking love this movie.
It's a fucking good movie. All right, B segment. For this week, I have a super fun game. So we've talked about, kind of the translation of this movie, being kind of interesting. So I thought it would be fun if you would have. Okay, so one thing that's funny and popular is to look at movie titles, American movie titles in foreign countries. So I'm going to give you the foreign title.
I'm going to get none of these, right? Like that's how
I think you'll get some.
Okay.
So question, do you want me to do movies that I'm like 99% sure you've seen?
Let's just send it.
Or should I just do all of them?
Just do them. Just go. I mean, look, I'm going to guess I'm going to get none of them because like the Fast and Furious one is like,
some of them are like so clear.
Okay.
And then are just like crazy descriptions.
Gotcha.
So the first few are from China. I will marry a prostitute to save money.
Pretty Woman?
Yep.
Okay. What a title.
Mr. Cat Poop. You won't get this
Now
one.
you have no idea.
As Good as It Gets.
What?
Apparently Jack's character's name, Melvin, sounds a lot like the Chinese word for cat poop. This hitman is not as cold as he thought.
What is this one? I don't...
The Professional.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. The Professional, which already has kind of a weird word. Is it Leon the Professional?
Right.
Or is it The Professional?
Right.
Or is it...
Also, screw you, Luc Besson. You used to be cool and make good movies, and now you fucking suck. His great device makes him famous.
What?
His great device makes him famous. His device is a euphemism, if I were to give you any sort of clue. Boogie Nights.
I haven't seen Boogie Nights, but that's actually really funny.
Okay, this one's wild. Satan Female Soldier.
Oh my God, what?
Satan Female Soldier.
What is it?
G.I. Jane. Son of...
I kind of love that, though. That's funny.
Just send him to university unqualified. Risky business.
It's the unqualified that gets me.
Yeah,
that's
my
really
favorite
good.
He's a ghost! Exclamation point.
I'm bad at these.
There's a movie that's very famous for a character you not realizing he's a ghost.
The Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Do they just give away the twist of The Sixth Sense?
Literally. Very bad. Okay, these are from different countries, so I will name the name and tell you where it's from. Very Bad Trip. So many of these are literally just a description of what the plot is. Very Bad Trip. The Hangover.
Oh,
that one's from France.
How do they market these movies?
Whoa, this one's wild. Please do not touch the old women. You won't get this one. It's The Producers. What? Okay, that's one song in the movie.
They saw only that one song and were like, fucking name it this.
That one's from Italy. Urban Neurotic. Urban Neurotic, like neurotic.
Yeah, what?
Annie Hall. That is such a great description
All right.
of what's his name?
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen, thank you. I thought Andy Warhol, and I knew that was wrong. That one's for Germany.
Here's to replacing Woody Allen with Andy Warhol.
There you go. Santa is a pervert.
Bad Santa.
Yes. Hey, is that the first one you've gotten?
No, I got Pretty Woman right up top.
No, you got Pretty Woman right up top. Captain Supermarket?
What?
Army of Darkness.
Oh, I guess. Okay.
Okay, I haven't seen Army of Darkness, so apparently that makes sense.
It
Like doesn't, but it does.
why I would be able to get it, no clue. But it does make outside sense.
Night with a K, so Night of the Night.
The Dark Knight. What is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah. Vaseline.
What is it?
Grease.
That's kind of funny though.
Because she's ugly.
I don't know what.
Never been kissed. Like that's literally like on this page it's literally written as never been kissed because she's ugly. Like it's like literally like a call and response. Sexy dance.
Dirty Dancing.
No, good guess though. Step Up.
Fuck that.
007 dies twice.
So a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
Which one though?
You only live twice.
Dies twice.
Love is in the Sky. It may have had a sequel last year.
What is that? I don't.
Top Gun.
Oh,
Love is in the
Oh my
Sky.
God.
That is the best thing I've ever heard. Full of the Nuts.
all right.
Dodgeball.
Sure.
Okay, this one's super fun. Reign of Falafel. This is from Israel, but Reign of Falafel.
I don't.
Okay, what might be a movie where food is raining from the sky?
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah, that's so much fun. The boy who drowned in chocolate sauce.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But yeah, you get that one.
They really just be.
Austin Powers, the spy who behaved very nicely around me.
Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me.
Yes, the spy who behaved very nicely around me is what this says.
What country?
Malaysia.
That is so fucking
That is the
funny.
funniest
What
shit.
did they edit out of that movie?
I don't know. Oh my God. Okay. Odd couple, wacky trip, go together in time for birth.
Due date.
Jesus Christ, how did you get that?
Because I've seen that movie.
Jesus Christ. That one's from Thailand. You win all of these.
Yeah.
Literally all of these. Super speeding, cleaning evil accounts. Super speeding, cleaning evil accounts.
Is it like the accountant?
No,
What is
good
it?
guess though. Drive angry.
Oh, okay.
Meetings and failures in meetings.
I have no clue.
This is the Portuguese title for Lost in Translation. Meetings and
Alright.
failures in meetings.
Alrighty.
So that's my top list
That's funny.
of foreign movie titles.
To be clear,
Jesus
this was-
Christ, those were so good.
The American translation of RRR is Rise, Roar, Revolt. And that's just dope.
That's just hard.
Yeah. it's
with
just-
three
with
R's.
3 R's.
Jeez.
So fucking funny.
What was the one that I already forgot it? It was my favorite thing ever. The Austin Powers, the spy who behaved very nicely around me. I love that.
That would make for
so
a great shirt.
freaking much. Okay, that's my game.
Very fun.
I love it so much.
So recommendations.
Recommendations.
What do you got?
me and Megan went to the theater this past weekend, and as I've said before, I'm a big musical fan. I love a good musical, and this was my first time. And speaking of historical epics, historical movies that are also musicals, I saw Cabaret for the first time. That movie is, man, like, it's a fucking classic. It's a Bob Fosse classic. Shout out, pouring out for Bob Fosse. Yeah, like Liza Minnelli in like her best role ever, and like literally was born to play that role. And man, like, I didn't really know what that movie was about. I knew it was in Nazi Germany. That was about all I knew. It was like that she works at a cabaret in Nazi Germany, and holy shit, that movie is like heavy and good. And like, I was like, musical. And it's like, it is an incredibly interesting and incredibly good movie. I highly recommend it. So yeah, Cabaret. My other recommendation is a movie. It came out last year. It did pretty well in the States, but it was from a different country originally. And like some people watched it here. It did pretty well, but then it went on to Netflix, and then it like just kind of like took fire. And it's called RRR. Watch RRR, damn it.
It is the best movie.
It's just the best movie.
We don't need to make any more. We should stop. We found it. We're good. We perfected the medium. Like,
yeah, literally. We don't need any more. We found the one.
Yeah.
I think those are my only two recommendations. Let me see what else I've watched this week. See if there's anything else that I really feel like I should talk about. I can't tell. Oh, and then I rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that movie's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Ant-Man Quantumanium. That movie, yes. I love Jonathan Majors with all of my heart. That man.
It is his world right now, dude.
And we're just living in it.
He's in a movie. He had a Sundance premiere, and apparently the movie's great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. I am stoked for Creed 3.
Oh yeah, dude.
He looks like speaking of Greek gods among men,
both of those men too.
Yeah, like we're just living in his world, and I would be happy for him to step on me. Anyways, your recommendation?
So I'm reading a comic right now. It is a very famous comic. There's quite a few people who are like, if you read 2 comic books ever in your life, if you just read 2, you read Watchmen by Alan Moore, and you read The Saga of Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. Both Alan Moore books. So I'm reading The Saga of Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And it is excellent. It is so good. It's like wordy kind of for a comic book, which normally I only like the pictures.
Interesting.
But it's poetic, and it's really like symbolic of the environment. Like, he is literally the protector of the environment in a lot of ways. He's connected to this, like, it's called the green. It's just all of nature connected into itself. Like, is this really, and all of the like arcs have something to do with like protecting children because they're the next generation, which is like the environment, all the metaphors. It's all environmentally metaphorical. So it's very terrifying right now that we don't have a swamp monster protecting us. But also do better, environmentalists. You know what I mean? Like, we need to listen to scientists and shit.
Quit throwing fucking soup at paintings. It's not working.
No, we need to
find a better way, idiots.
So from that perspective, and it's just excellent. The artwork is gorgeous. It's amazing. But a movie I watched, Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
The anime movie from the 90s.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel like you're going insane. I think it's like 99 or something.
Yeah, I was
it's like late 90s.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was like, was it 80s?
No, it's not 80s. It's 90s. It'll make you feel like you're going insane.
Is that the one that Christopher Nolan borrowed a lot of visuals from?
I think not only Nolan, but I think every living filmmaker has borrowed images from it.
Okay.
It's like 2 of the most influential things of all time are Cowboy Bebop and Perfect Blue.
Interesting.
Like, Perfect Blue is just super, like, if you look at any movie...
Akira has some of that too.
Akira has some of that too, for sure.
At least one thing.
At least the Akira slide.
At least the Akira slide. It's the Akira slide.
Yeah. So, but Perfect Blue is like a hyper influential movie on anyone who's in any filmmaker who's now or who watches anime or watched anime has borrowed from Perfect Blue. It's great. It's super good. It's a quick watch. It's like an hour 20.
Really? I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's a quick one. It is excellent. You should watch it.
It's on my list. It's on the top 250.
It is. That's why I watched it.
I know, you son of a bitch.
How is that going, by the way?
It's going pretty. I'm not making as much progress as I should. I'm pretty good at I'm keeping pretty steady pace with 365 for the year. I think I'm only like one movie behind, but I'll catch up this weekend.
Well, look, RRR is on that list, so you got one.
Yeah, was it actually?
It is. It's
Oh
in
shit! Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cabaret was on there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm making steady progress. I want to try to kind of front load the year with my top 250 list. I don't want to have to like only watch that for the second half of the year. So I want to try to front load that if I can. But I'm making pretty steady progress. So
Rad.
if you'd like to follow along, follow me on Letterboxd. You can see what I'm watching, and you can see what movies I have next on my list.
And if you want to see a Letterboxd and know that somebody only watches movies and does literally nothing else, follow me because I post on it frequently.
Yeah, multiple times every day.
Yeah, I saw Tar today, so that's my latest post. I didn't write a review, but if I did, it would have been, man, I wish I worked out as regularly as Tar.
What does it even?
You'll know when you see the movie. It's Anyway,
I'm excited to watch that.
yeah. Now and look, you got that to watch. You got some recommendations. You could watch RRR, or don't. No, live your life.
Watch RRR.
Watch RRR. Watch it. Oh my god.